So I just got this all in from HPS. So this looks like it's going to be our bracket that'll lead back into that kind of snorkel from the front of the vehicle. I like that. Here's all the hardware, some hosing, clamps. Then we've got our intake piping with the HPS logo there. I'm not sure if that's going to show up too well. And then last but not least, our air filter. So first of all, let's start by getting this filter out, or this box if we can. Pretty clean. Then we'll unhook this sensor. Then we'll unmount this box here. I believe there's one under there. No, one right here. And then start taking apart the rest of this. And then start fitting everything up. So now we're going to try and pull this clip through this bracket, like so. And then I don't believe anything else is attached to this box, except for this hose clamp, which was obviously never put back tight. So I'm going to pull this, separate this, that'll remove our box, and then we'll start removing this piece. Okay, so to remove this box, what I did was ended up taking the rest of this snorkel off, which was just held in by this bolt here. And then you had a sensor here, and then a hose coming right down here. And then we need to remove the 4 bolts here off this vanity cover to get the hose clamp on this hose. And then we'll get this hose clamp off, and then that should allow us to pull the rest of this piping off. I almost lost this little screw, which would be not the worst problem, but it would suck. Okay, so we've got this off now. Now we can start kind of piecing everything together. One thing I didn't notice till just now, we're gonna have to end up taking this solenoid here from this old box and then mounting it to, I guess, probably the ABS module up there. There we go. What we had to do was, you can't really see it now that it's on, but we had to make the bracket that it came with for this solenoid here. We re-plugged in the sensor. Now what I'm going to do is take off this hose here and this hose here and kind of use the one that they provided to run this down to there. Now for the next step, we're gonna have to unscrew this bracket that holds the ABS module in, and we're gonna put these two bushings in there. And I think what they're gonna hold is this once we make the bracket for that piece. I was stuck and confused on that for the longest time. Okay, so there's a bracket underneath here, and it's attached right there, and then this bolt or this nut and this nut that sit on these risers, the bushings, is actually what holds this on. So now we have this coupler on. I'm just gonna go ahead and, well, this hose clamp I'm gonna end up tightening because that's what's gonna hold this to this bracket. And then the other one, I will tighten that once this box is back on. Okay, so as you can see, this side had to tighten down a decent amount. I like that they kind of lube that up for you. But here, I'm just gonna go ahead, reattach that bolt there. And then this side of the intake will be done. I'm just gonna go ahead and zap that in. So for this part, I'm just gonna go ahead, I'll get that in a second. I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten these so I don't have to do it at the end. This way, everything at this point is pretty much just putting everything back together. So now we can take this, screw this into here, and then when this is finally mounted up like this, this will kind of stabilize this here. So let me go ahead and find the correct nut and bolt for this. And then we won't tighten that until everything's on. So I'm gonna go ahead, pin up everything else here, and then I'll get back to you guys when everything's all attached. Okay, so here's how everything looks together. So what I'd like to do now is just start the car up and then let it idle for a little bit to kind of learn itself. And then we'll do some revving from the inside and see how it sounds. Turn that off. Now that the car's warmed up a little bit, we're gonna see if it makes any different in sound. It definitely sounds a lot more free-flowing. But that's it for this one. I hope you guys liked the install, and I'll see you in the next one.